Hello friends, this is Mrs. Dennis. Today I have for you another quick read, and it's called The Open Road. Now, you will notice that this is a similar version of our story, The Wind in the Willows, and this is just part of it. But this is an adaptation of the story, which means it's the same story, but it's told a little bit differently. So for today, I'm going to read parts 1 and 2 for you. Are you ready? Here we go. "Won't you take me to call on Toad?" said Mole to his friend Rat. "I've heard so much about him." "Why, of course," said Rat. "Get the boat out and we'll paddle up there at once. It's never the wrong time to call on Toad, early or late. He's always the same fellow, always good-tempered, always glad to see you, and always sorry when you go." "He must be a very nice animal," said Mole as he got into the boat. "He is indeed the best of animals," replied Rat. "So simple and so friendly. Perhaps he's not very clever. We can't call him smart. It may be that he is both boastful and conceited, but Toady is a great friend." Rounding a bend in the river, they came in sight of a handsome, dignified old house. It was faded red brick, and with well-kept lawns reaching down the water's edge. "There's Toad Hall," said Rat. "See the creek on the left? That leads to Toad's houseboat. That's where we'll leave the boat. The stable's over there. That's the banquet hall you're looking at now. Very old, that is. Toad is rather rich, you know. This is really one of the nicest houses around, though we never admit as much to Toad." They glided up the creek and passed into the shadow of a large boathouse. There they saw many large boats. Some were slung from the crossbeams. Some were hauled up in a slip, but none of them were in the water. The place seemed deserted. Rat looked around him. "I see how it is," he said. "Boating is old news. Toad is tired of it and done with it. I wonder what fad he will take up now. Come along, let's go see. We shall hear all about it soon enough." They stepped out of the boat and walked across the flower-decked lawn. They found Toad resting in a wicker garden chair. He had a large map spread out on his knees. "Hooray!" he cried, jumping up upon seeing them. "This is splendid." He shook the paws of both of them warmly, never waiting for an introduction to Mole. "How kind of you," he went on, dancing around them. "I was just going to send a boat down the river for you, Ratty, with strict orders that you were to come here at once, whatever you were doing. You don't know how lucky it is, you turning up just now." "What a delightful house you have," said Mole. "Finest house on the whole river," cried Toad proudly. "Or anywhere else for that matter," he could not help adding. The Open Road Part 2. "Now then," Toad said, "you fellows must help me. It's most important." "You want us to help you with your boating?" asked Rat. "Oh, pooh, boating," said Toad in great disgust. "A silly boyish amusement. I gave that up long ago. A waste of time. That's what it is. It's making me very sorry to see you fellows, who ought to know better, spending all of your time thinking about boating. No, I've discovered the real thing, the best occupation for a lifetime. I plan to spend the rest of my life on it. I can only wish I hadn't spent so many years boating. Come with me, dear Ratty, and your dear friend also. Come with me just as far as the stable yard, and you'll see what you shall see." Toad led the way to the stable yard. Rat followed with a most unhappy look on his face. There, for all to see, was a travel wagon, shining with newness. It was painted yellow and green. "There you are," cried Toad. "There is real life for you in that travel wagon. The open road, the dusty highways, camps, villages, towns, cities. Here today, up and off, and somewhere else tomorrow. Travel new places to see fun. The whole world before you. A horizon that's always changing. Mind you, this is the very finest wagon of its sort that was ever made. Come and look at the inside. Planned all of it myself. I did." Mole followed Toad eagerly up the steps into the wagon. Rat did not move. He only snorted and put his hands deep in his pockets. The wagon had little sleep bunks and a table that folded up against the wall. It had a cooking stove, lockers, a bookshelf, and bookshelves. It had a bird cage with a bird in it. It had pots, pans, jugs, and kettles of every size. All complete, said Toad happily. You'll find that nothing whatever has been forgotten when we make our start this afternoon. I beg your pardon, said the rat. But did I hear you say something about we and starting and this afternoon? Yes, yes, begged Toad. You've got to come. I can't possibly go without you. So please don't argue. It's the one thing I can't stand. You surely don't mean to stick to your dull old river all your life and just give in a hole in a bank and go boating. I want to show you the world. I don't care, said Rat doggedly. I'm not coming, and that's that. I'm going to stick to my old river and live in a hole and go boating, as I've always done. What's more, Mole's going to stick with me and do as I do. Aren't you, Mole? Of course I am, said Mole loyally. I'll always stick with you, Rat. What you say has to be. All the same, it sounds as if it might have been, well, rather fun, you know, he added wistfully. Poor Mole. The life adventurous was a new thing to him and so thrilling. It was so tempting. He had fallen in love at first sight with the yellow-covered wagon. Rat saw what was passing in Mole's mind and began to change his mind. He hated disappointing people, and he very much liked Mole. Toad was watching both of them closely. Come in and have some lunch, he said. We'll talk it over. We don't need to decide anything in a hurry. Of course, I don't really care. I only want you fellows to have fun. Live for others. That's my motto in life. All right, friends, we're going to stop right there with the Open Road Part 2, and we're going to continue tomorrow. That's all for now.